Hello everyone and welcome. We're here in Yeshivat Chut Shel Chesed under the guidance of Rabbi Shalom Arush. May Hashem bless him. I'm to have a complete healing quickly and easily, very, very soon. And we're continuing our story here, Rabbi Nachman's stories, the 9th story, titled The Sophisticate and the Simpleton. We spoke about how that there was 2 children, they were friends. Their parents sent them off to go find careers, to make a living for themselves. And we spoke about the Sophisticate, how he went and he started to learn. He went from place to place, and then he decided that it's time for him to crack down and start to learn a profession, how he went to become a goldsmith, and then a gem cutter, and then he said, I'm going to be a doctor and a philosopher. And then he started to go home, and he started to look at the world. Because he put himself on such a high pedestal, he looked at the whole world as nothingness. He couldn't connect to anybody. Let's set aside the story of the Sophisticate and tell the story of the Simpleton. So, like we mentioned, the Simpleton had learned the trade of a shoemaker. Since he was simple, he had to study very, very much to master it. And even then, he was not very expert in the craft. He got married. It didn't wait too long. The Simpleton, he took a long time to think when is a good time to get married. He learned something. He did his part. He realizes that his part is to do something, to get something under his belt. He took a course. It took him a long time to master it, and even then he wasn't even such an expert. But then he went to the next step. He got married, and he earned a living from his work. However, he was simple and not expert in his craft, so his livelihood was very meager and limited. Since he had limited skill, he had to work constantly and did not even have time to eat. As he ate, he would make a hole in the shoe, and then he would he would sew it in and out, and he would take another bite of bread and eat it. Throughout this, he was always very happy. He was filled with joy at all times. He had every type of food and drink and clothing. He would say to his wife, "My wife, bring me something to eat." She would give him a piece of bread. He would eat it, and then we would say, "Hey, maybe can I have some soup?" And she would cut him another slice of bread. And I'd say, "Wow, this is a delicious soup." Not that he was dumb, but because he really, really mastered his faith, and he was so happy with his lot, he was almost like eating the man in the generation of the Midbar, that they were able to taste every single taste in the man. He would then ask her for some meat and other good food. Each time he would say, "Wow, this is such good food," and really she would just be giving him another piece of bread. He would enjoy it very much and praise the food very highly, saying how well prepared and delicious it was. It was if he was actually eating the food which he had asked for. Actually, when he ate the bread, he could taste in any kind of food he wanted. This was because of his simplicity and great happiness. When a person merits happiness, everything's good. He could be eating bread, but he's not lacking anything. A person that's not happy, he's always looking to try to, maybe this will make me happy, maybe this will make me happy, but in essence it won't. You could eat that delicious steak, you could go to the fancy restaurant, but at the end, it all might just taste the same. Yet when a person sits in his home and eats simple food that his wife prepares to him, and you thank her and you be nice to her, and the person is in a state of happiness, he could totally enjoy any flavor and any taste. He would also tell his wife, "My wife, bring me a nice drink, bring me some beer." She would bring him some water. Say, "Wow, what a good beer this is." Or say, "How about some honey wine, like a sweet type of drink?" She would give him the water, and he would say, "Wow, it came out so good this time." Or say, "Can I have some wine?" Or some other beverage, and each time she would give him water. But he would enjoy it and praise the beverage as if he was actually drinking it. The same was true in regards to clothing. Between them, the only outer garment that he didn't have was one sheepskin coat. Whenever he wanted to go out to the market, he would say to his wife, "Give me the sheepskin," and she would give it to him. When he wanted to wear a fur coat to visit people, he had to wear something a little bit more fancy. Say, "Hey, can you fetch me the fur coat?" She would give him again the sheepskin, the simple type of coat. But he would enjoy it and say, "Wow, what a nice coat, what a nice fur." When he needed a kaftan, he would need a special jacket to go to shul. He wanted his bekasha. She would again give him the sheepskin and say, wow, what a beautiful garment this is. Similarly, when he needed a silk coat, she would also give him the sheepskin and he would say, wow, what a comfortable silk coat. This was true no matter what happened. He was always filled with happiness and joy. That's the main line here. He was always filled with happiness and joy. He was happy with his lot. Since he had not completely mastered his trade, when he finished a shoe, it was usually triangular in shape. But he would take the shoe in his hand and speak very highly of it, deriving much enjoyment from his handiwork. He would say, my wife, what a beautiful, wonderful shoe this is. How sweet is it? It's like as honey and sugar. Sometimes she would say, honey, if that's true, why the other shoemakers get 3 gold coins while you only take a golden and a half? He would say, what do I care? That is their work and this is my work. Again, the same idea that he's happy with what he has. And he's also, not only is he happy, but he's also confident because he answers her back. He says, why should we speak about others? Let's think about how much clear profit I make on this shoe. The leather costs this much. The glue and thread, this much. Other things I need, I also have to pay a certain amount for the tongues. Therefore, I have a clear profit of 10 small coins. As long as I make a clear profit, what do I care? He was thus always filled with joy and happiness. For most people, this was a big joke. They would enjoy it. We'll just mention something here. It says at the end of the story that the shoe represents prayer. Sometimes our prayer is not complete. It's 3-cornered. It's not, has a nice look to it. It feels lacking. Our service Hashem is lacking. We could still also, we must learn from this to also still be happy. Not only with the mundane items, but also for our spirituality. Sometimes our spirituality is not the way we want it. We tried, we put in all our best. Or maybe we didn't even put in all our best. And it came out 3-cornered. It came out not perfect to our liking. Still, I can have the confidence to know that this is what Hashem helped me to be able to do. That's what I'll do. For the future, I will ask for more help. And I'll be more on top of my game. And realize how much I need to pour out my heart in prayer. And to pray to Hashem to help me to desire the right things. Tell me to also accomplish it physically, not only to desire it. I wanted to pray good. And it came out 3-cornered. We'll focus on it more at the end of the story where it's brought in its place. But it's just important to bring it here while we said it. So people saw this simpleton and they would make fun of him. He looked like one big joke. They would consider him insane. People would come to him especially to engage him in conversation. So they were able to make fun of him. But he would say, without letzanu in Hebrew, it says, let's not make a joke out of it. If the other person would say, no, I'm not making a joke, he would listen to what he has to say. He did not probe in the other person's motives more deeply to see if this is in itself might be the means of mocking him. See, he was a very simple person. He avoided such sophisticated ideas. However, if he saw the other person's intention was clearly to mock him, he would say, so now what? If you prove yourself smarter than I, you will still be a fool. Right? You want to be smarter than me? So you're trying to become smarter than me. I'm the fool, right? You're trying to become smarter than me. That means that you're the biggest fool because you think that you have to put me down to make yourself higher. Who's the fool here? So let's be careful. Let's not talk in sophisticated ways. Let's not talk and try to put people down. Let's be very, very careful. The way that we talk to people, this is the ways of the simpleton, and this is the ways that every single Jew should live, every single person should live like this. This is the prescription that Rabbi Nachman gives us to live with simplicity as a tam. There's so much more to talk about it, and we'll continue to try to bring in more ideas about tmimus, like Rabbi Nachman teaches us that we should have tmimus and pshutus, to be simple. And may Hashem help us to continue this story. Let us wake up from these stories, and we should be able to continue to finish this story together. This was part 2. And this story continues on. It's a little bit of a longer story, not like the past stories. So stay tuned for the rest of the story. Thank you for watching.